Imagine a world where Tesla collapses entirely. Streets once buzzing with the hum of electric vehicles now echo with the silence of abandoned buildings and colossal factories stripped of purpose. Small towns, which relied on Tesla as their sole lifeline, face an unprecedentedly bleak future. In these places, a day without Tesla could mark the end of entire communities. Small businesses, shops, homes, and even schools all would shutter. Workers once proud to be part of Tesla's mission would be forced to abandon their homes in search of survival elsewhere. Could these towns fade into oblivion, becoming forgotten ghost towns? The question isn't whether this could happen, but which towns would be hit hardest if Tesla falls. Join us as we explore the communities where a shock from Tesla could transform them into desolate, irreparable wastelands. Number 1. Fremont, California. Fremont, a pivotal town in California, would undoubtedly be among the hardest hit if Tesla were to collapse. Why? Because Fremont isn't just home to Tesla's largest manufacturing facility. It's where thousands of local workers earn their livelihoods, contributing to America's modern industrial landscape. The Tesla factory in Fremont, producing millions of vehicles annually, has become a symbol of technology and innovation. But if Tesla fails, not only would this factory fall, but the entire economy of Fremont would crumble with it. Since Tesla established its factory in Fremont in 2010, the town has experienced robust growth. Tesla is more than an electric vehicle manufacturer, it's the primary engine of the local economy. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Fremont has seen a significant increase in jobs, particularly in high-tech and manufacturing sectors. A substantial portion of Fremont's workforce, production workers and engineers alike, is employed directly by Tesla, while thousands of ancillary businesses also depend on Tesla's presence. However, Fremont's reliance on Tesla is a double-edged sword. When things run smoothly, Fremont reaps the benefits of thousands of jobs, substantial tax revenue, and thriving community services. But if Tesla collapses, the consequences would extend far beyond the loss of a single company. It would be a lethal shock to Fremont's entire economic ecosystem. The numbers paint a stark picture. Tesla is one of the region's largest employers, with the Fremont factory alone generating over 10,000 direct and indirect jobs. This figure excludes thousands more workers in supplier companies, support businesses, and service industries tied to the plant. If Tesla vanishes, Fremont would lose the primary income source for tens of thousands of families. The resulting spike in unemployment would likely trigger a mass exodus. Without jobs, residents would seek opportunities elsewhere, causing a severe population decline. Homes, schools, and other infrastructure would fall into disuse. In such a scenario, local industries and small businesses would take a massive hit. Grocery stores, restaurants, healthcare services, all the elements that give Fremont its vitality, would face dwindling customers. Banks and financial institutions, reliant on the town's growth, would stall as cash flow dries up. Real estate projects planned to meet the demand spurred by Tesla's expansion would be scrapped. Property values would plummet, and investors in the town would face significant losses. This isn't mere speculation. Other cities that experienced economic decline after major factory closures serve as cautionary tales for what could befall Fremont. Examples from regions dependent on traditional industries like Detroit, where the auto industry's collapse dragged down the entire local economy, illustrate how profoundly a single major company can impact a town. Another critical issue is the ripple effect on education and healthcare. With a significant portion of Fremont's population employed at Tesla's factory, a collapse would lead to fewer students in schools. This could prompt education budget cuts, lowering teaching quality, and limiting opportunities for children. Local hospitals and healthcare facilities would also suffer, as unemployed workers without insurance or income struggle to afford care, increasing strain and scarcity in the healthcare system. No one can deny that Tesla's presence has been the cornerstone of Fremont's remarkable growth. But if Tesla falls, it won't just be a company lost. An entire community would face a severe, potentially decades-long recession. The question looms, can Fremont recover from such a shock? Could another force emerge to replace Tesla and rebuild the town's economy? Would Tesla's collapse mark the end of Fremont, or could it spark a pivot toward a new path? Only time will tell. Number 2. Sparks, Nevada. Sparks, Nevada, a small town of about 100,000 residents, may not be widely known, but it stands as a textbook example of deep reliance on a single industry. For years, Tesla has placed significant trust in Sparks as a key manufacturing hub, and if Tesla were to collapse, Sparks would face a comprehensive economic crisis. This town isn't just home to a Tesla factory, it hosts critical production and storage facilities for assembling and distributing Tesla's vehicles. Tesla's presence in Sparks has undeniably been a major driver of the local economy. Over the years, Tesla has brought thousands of jobs to residents and fostered a vast supply chain, encompassing suppliers and satellite companies that support electric vehicle production. According to a study from the University of Nevada, Reno Tesla is one of the largest employers in the region, with thousands working at its Sparks facilities. Notably, Tesla established its Gigafactory in Sparks, a critical site producing components for models like the Model 3 and Model Y. As of 2022, the Sparks Gigafactory was among Tesla's most vital production hubs, significantly contributing to the company's revenue and bolstering Nevada's broader economy. However, if Tesla were to cease operations, the consequences for Sparks would be devastating. Losing one of the town's largest employers would leave thousands of workers jobless. This wouldn't just affect those directly employed at the factory, it would ripple through countless satellite companies, suppliers, and service providers. Sparks' economy, already dependent on a handful of key industries, would face severe hardship as its primary income source vanishes. Local businesses would see a sharp drop in demand, leading to layoffs and a wave of bankruptcies. Data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows Nevada's unemployment rate at 4.9%, but a Tesla collapse could easily double this figure. Retail stores, restaurants, and service providers would shutter due to a lack of customers, and businesses reliant on Tesla's workforce would face dire straits. The very foundation would shift. A shrinking job market would force residents to migrate elsewhere, causing population decline and stalling community services. Sparks would lose not only jobs and income, but also face a steep drop in real estate values. Without Tesla and thousands of workers unable to afford housing, the Sparks property market would take a severe hit. Homeowners would struggle to sell properties at desired prices, while renters would face rising living costs as services and infrastructure deteriorate. Local banks and financial institutions would also suffer, as rising defaults and bad loans choke the town's cash flow. Moreover, Sparks' education system would grapple with shrinking budgets. Job losses would reduce tax revenue, leaving local authorities unable to sustain spending on education, healthcare, and other public services. Schools would cut programs and lay off teachers, directly impacting the quality of education for future generations. A Tesla collapse would be more than an economic event. It would trigger a chain reaction that could persist for years. Sparks could plunge into a severe recession without timely replacement of income and job sources. The question looms: can Sparks recover from this shock? Could another company, large and robust enough, step in to replace Tesla and salvage the town's economy? Or will Sparks fade into obscurity, becoming a ghost town of abandoned buildings and silent streets? Number 3. Buffalo, New York. Known for its remarkable recovery from the decline of the steel industry, Buffalo has surged in recent years, driven largely by one key force: Tesla. Gigafactory 2, built in Buffalo, has not only created thousands of jobs, but also helped the city reassert its value in the modern economy. However, everything could change if Tesla ceases to exist. In that scenario, Buffalo would face an unforeseen economic crisis of severe proportions. While not the largest Tesla hub in terms of workforce, Buffalo holds a unique distinction. Gigafactory 2 is Tesla's center for solar panel production, a cornerstone technology for the company's clean energy ambitions. A Tesla withdrawal from Buffalo would disrupt the solar panel supply chain and production, leading to the loss of thousands of jobs. According to the New York Department of Labor, Gigafactory 2 currently employs about 1,500 workers directly, alongside thousands more indirectly supporting its supply chain. The collapse of Tesla would deliver a profound shock to Buffalo's economy. Studies from the University at Buffalo highlight that the region has thrived due to green industries and high-tech sectors, with Tesla as a central pillar. Over the years, the city has seen impressive job growth in technology and renewable energy. But losing Tesla would plunge these sectors into a crisis from which recovery would be far from straightforward. Beyond direct employment at Gigafactory 2, Tesla indirectly supports thousands of other jobs in the region. Suppliers, logistics companies, and businesses providing materials and equipment to the factory would face immediate impacts. The loss of demand from Tesla would render these companies unsustainable, resulting in thousands of additional job losses. A cascading effect would hit the real estate market. The area around Gigafactory 2 has seen significant growth in housing demand as Tesla workers and supporting businesses flock to Buffalo to live and work. However, a Tesla collapse would saturate the housing market as the need for homes from a large workforce evaporates. According to the Buffalo Department of Economic Development, property values in the area could plummet by up to 30% if Tesla exits. Public services would also take a severe hit. Buffalo has heavily invested in welfare and community development programs, fueled by the economic growth from Gigafactory 2. But losing a major source of tax revenue and jobs would force budget cuts, particularly in education, healthcare, and other public services. This would not only weaken the city's infrastructure, but also degrade residents' quality of life. Importantly, the impacts wouldn't be purely economic. The social consequences of a Tesla collapse must also be considered. A town like Buffalo, where economic vitality and growth are tightly tied to a single major company, would face a prolonged recovery period without swift replacement of jobs and resources. Many families would be forced to migrate in search of opportunities elsewhere, leading to population decline and the isolation of the city's poorer neighborhoods. Can Buffalo maintain its normal rhythm of life without Tesla's presence? Or will it become a ghost town with shuttered shops, deserted neighborhoods, and fading hopes for recovery? The answer may only come if the scenario unfolds. But one thing is certain: without a rapid and effective replacement, Buffalo faces a deeply uncertain future. Number 4, Austin, Texas. Austin has undergone a dramatic transformation in recent years, propelled by the growth of the tech industry and startups. However, one of the most significant catalysts for this development has been Tesla's presence. Elon Musk's decision to establish Gigafactory Texas in Austin was not only a strategic move for Tesla, but also a massive investment in a city already prominent in technology. The factory has generated thousands of jobs and attracted a surge of ancillary businesses and real estate investors to the area. If Tesla were to collapse, the consequences for Austin would be more severe than most could imagine. First and foremost, Tesla is one of Austin's largest employers, with thousands of workers at Gigafactory Texas. According to Tesla's data, the facility has created over 10,000 direct jobs, not counting thousands more in supporting industries. These workers not only contribute directly to the city's economy, but also sustain the growth of public services and consumer activity in the region. A Tesla shutdown would leave these workers jobless, triggering a wave of unemployment that would sharply reduce consumer spending and shrink the city's tax revenue. The real estate market would also suffer profoundly. Tesla's arrival has fueled a real estate investment boom in Austin. Property and housing values have soared as demand for homes and office spaces surged alongside the growth of supporting industries. However, a Tesla collapse would drastically reduce housing demand, leading to an oversupply of properties and a rapid drop in values. Major real estate projects currently under development could face a lack of buyers, resulting in significant losses for investors and construction firms. Moreover, a critical factor is the electric vehicle (EV) industry's development. Tesla not only supplies a vast number of EVs to the market, but has also driven the industry's robust growth in Austin. Ancillary companies, component suppliers, and aftermarket services have all benefited from Tesla's presence. A Tesla collapse would force many of these businesses to close, disrupting the entire EV supply chain in Austin and causing widespread job losses in an industry previously thriving. This would affect not only EV sector workers, but also related fields like technology and component manufacturing. From another angle, Tesla's downfall could undermine the growth of other tech industries in Austin. The city has long been dubbed Silicon Hills, a major U.S. tech hub. However, many of Austin's tech companies are closely tied to giants like Tesla. These firms not only provide products and services to Tesla, but rely on the skilled workforce Tesla trains and develops. A major economic disruption could spark a crisis in the tech sector, diminishing Austin's appeal to international investors and slowing the growth of startups. Additionally, losing one of Austin's largest tax revenue sources would severely impact the city's budget. Austin would face a significant shortfall, making it challenging to maintain public services like education, healthcare, and transportation. Ongoing infrastructure projects could be delayed or canceled, and the quality of public services might decline sharply. With all these factors, it's clear that a Tesla collapse would bring numerous negative consequences for Austin, from job losses and a collapsing real estate market to a weakened tech industry. The question arises, where will Austin find new opportunities to replace the industries built around Tesla? Can the city overcome this crisis, or will it become a cautionary tale of a city that grew too dependent on a single titan, only to pay the price when it falls? Number 5. Snailbrook, Texas. Though not a major city like Austin or Fremont, Snailbrook has emerged as a hotspot in the electric vehicle industry due to Tesla's presence. This makes the small town particularly vulnerable to catastrophic risks if Tesla's rise comes to an abrupt end. Snailbrook's growth is intricately tied to Tesla's decision to establish a significant manufacturing facility in the area. The Tesla plant in Snailbrook specializes in producing critical components for Tesla's electric vehicles, and the company has worked closely with local suppliers to provide materials and services. According to Tesla's reports, the town has generated over 2,000 direct and indirect jobs, while also fueling the development of service, retail, and construction sectors in the surrounding area. While these figures may seem modest compared to larger cities, they are immensely significant for a small town like Snailbrook, where the economy heavily relies on companies like Tesla. A Tesla collapse would result in over 2,000 residents losing their jobs in a town of just 5,000 people. This would trigger a sharp decline in purchasing power and consumption, leading to social welfare and security challenges in the area. With much of the population dependent on Tesla, local shops, restaurants, and small service businesses would face severe revenue drops, potentially leading to widespread closures. Beyond job losses, Snailbrook could also face a drastic decline in property values. The town was never a bustling hub, but Tesla's presence attracted families and workers from other regions to live and work there. A Tesla collapse could spark a reverse migration, as jobless workers leave to seek opportunities elsewhere. This would depress real estate values and create hardships for homeowners in Snailbrook, who would struggle to find buyers or renters. Snailbrook would also suffer from a significant loss of tax revenue. Tesla currently contributes a substantial portion of the town's budget through corporate taxes and the personal income taxes of its employees. The company's closure would severely reduce this revenue, forcing cuts to public services like healthcare, education, and law enforcement. These reductions would not only lower residents' quality of life, but also create a negative feedback loop, making recovery even more challenging for Snailbrook. Another critical factor is the town's reliance on ancillary suppliers. Beyond Tesla, Snailbrook hosts numerous supporting businesses tied to the electric vehicle industry. These companies provide components, materials, and services to Tesla's factory. A Tesla collapse would jeopardize these suppliers, causing a major disruption to the town's supply chain. Local businesses, particularly small ones in sectors like mechanics, engineering, and parts manufacturing, would struggle to survive without Tesla's contracts and revenue. With all these factors combined, Snailbrook would face not only an economic crisis, but also a potential descent into despair, with little means of recovery after the fall of a giant like Tesla. The question arises, can this town find a way to reinvent itself, recover, and weather the economic storm without Tesla's presence? Or will it become a ghost town, forgotten in the shadows of economic decline? Looking at the broader picture, it's undeniable that Tesla has become an inseparable part of many American communities. From major cities like Austin, Texas, to small towns like Snailbrook, Texas, Tesla is not merely an electric vehicle manufacturer, but a vital economic engine, generating jobs, driving supply chains, and providing significant tax revenue. However, while Tesla's rise has brought immense opportunities, it has also made these communities overly reliant on the company's stability. If Tesla were to collapse, the consequences would extend beyond economic loss, delivering a profound social shock. So, is there a way for these towns to avoid becoming ghost towns? Can these communities adapt and find new paths to rebuild their economies without Tesla's support? The answer hinges on the adaptability and creativity of local leaders who will face the daunting challenge of reconstructing local economies without the backing of one of the auto industry's giants. This is a hypothetical scenario based on the potential impact of a Tesla collapse on dependent communities. All analyses and assessments in this text are not reflective of a real-world situation and are intended for reference only.